What's up guys? Welcome to today's how-to video. My name is Vladimir. I'm coming to you from the Cainets Plus showroom. Today we're going to show you how to build a cabinet. Let's get to it. Today we're going to be building a wall cabinet which is going to be 15 inches wide and 36 inches tall. Basically our wall 1536. Let's get to it. Before we get started building and assembling, we're going to go over some tools that we're going to need for the build. We're going to need a rubber mallet. We're going to need a hand drill. We have another hand drill with a drill tip to pre-drill the holes along with a rubber stopper. This is needed so that you don't drill through the side of the face frame and make a hole in your cabinet. We're also going to need a utility knife. We're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver to adjust our door hinges for later. We're going to need our nail gun to nail in our toe kick and for additional supports. We're also going to need our wood glue to make sure our cabinets stay together. Now that we've got our tools ready, we're going to go ahead and start opening the boxes and see what's inside. Alright, next step is to open up the boxes and see what's inside. Always be careful when using the utility knife not to cut yourself. The first two items in the box are going to be your side panels for your wall cabinet. As you see, they have a groove on the inside where you're going to be sliding in the back panel. Next up, we have our top, bottom, and shelf sections that go to the cabinet. We also have our hardware box. We're going to go over this later when it comes time to it. Lastly, in the box, we have our back panel for the cabinet. On to our next box. Inside the box, we have some instructions on how to assemble the cabinet together. Next, we have our actual door for the cabinet. We're going to keep this sealed in this foam padding until it's time to use it. And lastly, we have our face frame of the cabinet. Let's get to it. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over our hardware box just to make sure everything's there that we need. Inside our box of hardware, we have our clips for holding our shelves in. Next up, we have our hinge hardware for our door hinges. Lastly, we have our bag of screws and L brackets along with our stoppers. Now that we've got our hardware all taken care of and we've gone over it, now that we've gone over our hardware, what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of glue in each of these cutouts, seen right here. This is to add support. Now that we've got our glue in all of our places, what we're going to do is we're going to start the assembly process. What you'll notice is that on these side panels, there is a slit. What that is basically so that you can slide your side of the cabinet in and then click it into place. It sort of holds it, but you still want to support this. Now that we've got our one panel in, what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our L brackets and we're going to screw it in to support the side. Remember, make sure you have a stopper on your drill tip so that you don't go through the wood. Now that we've got one side screwed in, we're going to move on to the next side. Now that we've got the second side slid in, we're going to repeat the same step. We're going to attach our L bracket in the middle of the side panel just to support it. Now that we've got our side panels in, what we're going to do is we're going to be installing our top and bottom of the cabinet. As we've already put glue down earlier in these slots, we don't need to do that right now. So all we're going to do is simply slide them in. Now that we have the top and bottom of the cabinets installed, what we're going to do next is install the back panel for the cabinet. One thing to note when installing the back panel, there is a finished and unfinished side. What you'll want to do is take the finished side, which is this side, and put it on the inside and make sure to line up these cutouts with the top and the bottom of the cabinet so that it holds it all together. Once you have this together, what you'll want to do is grab your rubber mallet and just tap it to make sure it goes in on all the sides. Once this is together, what you'll want to do is grab your nail gun and shoot a couple nails in about every 6 to 8 inches to make sure that the back panel holds together. Once you've got the sides all nailed up, you'll notice that there are 2 screw holes on the bottom of the back and then 2 screw holes at the top of the back. One thing you'll notice is that there's already some pre-drilled holes for your door hangers. What we're going to do is we're just going to drill them yet once more, because from the manufacturing process there could be some paint or something that gets inside. You don't want to split your face frame, so that's the reason that we're going to pre-drill yet once more. Now that we've pre-drilled our holes, this is going to be off to the side as we get our door ready. Now that we've pre-drilled out those holes, we're going to grab our door hinges and we're going to screw them in. Line them up with the holes, and then we're going to use our hardware from our hardware box. It's going to be easiest having your box standing up, that way your door will not be pulling up or down. It'll be standing upright next to the cabinet, that way it'll be easier to attach the door to the box of the frame. What you'll want to do is align the middle of this bracket with your pre-drilled holes, and then we're just going to screw it in. Now that we've got the door drilled on, it's just going to be the last few things to make sure that this is straight and level. On the inside of the hinges, there are adjustment points where you can go up, down, in, or out. Now that our door is attached and level, the last few things is to attach our bumpers and to add our additional L brackets and install the shelves. For attaching our stoppers, you're simply going to take them off the pad. You're going to put them in the top and bottom corners of the doors. Press them on firmly. That way, when you slam the door, it's not going to make a very loud sound. Our second to last step is going to be attaching our L brackets on the top and the very bottom to hold our face frame in. Again, these you're going to attach in the middle of the frame section. That way it holds it all together. As you can see, we've already done one side, visible right here. This is to support the frame in the bottom and so that it doesn't move. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Well, now that we've got that all put together, our last and final step is going to be installing our shelf clips along with our shelves inside. We're going to take our shelf clips. We've got 8 in total, so 4 for each shelf. As you'll see, there are indentations where you can put your shelf clips in. The way that you're going to install them is there's a hole here. What we're going to do is that we're going to be installing our shelf clips going into these holes here. They simply clip in. Now that we've got all of our shelf clips in, the last and final step is to install our shelves. You will want to notice that there is one side of the shelf that is finished. You'll want to install that facing out. You don't want it to be with one of the rough sides. The trick to installing these shelves is to put them in at an angle. So when you're going to be putting it in, go either towards the left or right side at a slant. Once it clips in on one side, just give it a nice ugga-dugga. Simple, easy, even you can do it.